Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart, and I happen to believe that just wearing fragrances on a regular basis works at a deeper level than the average person realizes, and even more so than a lot of people in FragCom realize, because it's more than just smelling good. It's showing attention to detail. It's showing good grooming. It's showing self-care. All those things add up over time and it enhances your life. But when you're talking about individual fragrances and even a couple of houses, there are definitely fragrances out there where you will try them the first time and go, what's going on? Only when you're in FragCom for a long period of time will you figure them out. Will you know what they're trying to do? I'm going over 8 of those fragrances today. Let's get to it. Fragrance number 1 is Dior Homme Intense, and this came to mind immediately because this was like the 20th, 25th fragrance that I picked up. This is not the kind of fragrance where your average guy is going to just get into collecting and immediately go out and buy Dior Homme Intense. I was already in FragCom. I already had at least 20 fragrances. I heard about the reputation of it, and even when I got it, I smelled it and I'm like, well, it's okay. But I couldn't see myself getting compliments from it, and immediately I was like, okay, well, I don't know about this. Over time, though, I came to figure it out. I came to understand the subtleties, the combination of iris and ambrette, that makeup bag smell. It doesn't smell like an old lady. It's got a sophisticated air to it. But yeah, if you're just off the street, you might think it has old lady vibes. I think another thing that makes this special is the performance, because look at the notes here. Iris, ambrette, 2 woods. You've got cedar and vetiver and lavender. None of those notes, they're not like vanilla or leather or incense that really push out a lot. They're not like super long-lasting notes, and yet I get at least 8 hours with this. Projection is somewhat modest, but it lasts forever. And I mean, these are not strong notes. So I think this has got to have at least 18 to 20% fragrance oil. I think this is a lot closer to being a genuine parfum than it is an eau de parfum. That makes it special. But this one takes time to figure out. From the name, to the bottle, to the ad campaign, to the actual scent itself, Moschino's Toy Boy looks just like a marketing gimmick, but this is nothing like Elon Musk's burnt hair. This is a substantial fragrance. It's just not mass appealing, but this is a really high quality, but different, creative, outside the box scent that definitely appeals to a lot of people, even if it might not appeal to you. Now, I like it, but I don't love it. And I do understand all those people that are like, what is this? It's just marketing. No, it's not. Now, if you just looked at the heart notes, I don't blame you for thinking that, because you're talking about 3 florals and cloves in a fragrance designed by men from a perfumer, Jan Vasnier, who doesn't make fragrances for men. He's made hundreds of fragrances for women, but you're talking about rose, magnolia, and flax, 3 floral notes, and cloves in the mid. I mean, it really does look like a gimmick, but you look at Fragrantica's year-end voting in 2020. This fragrance came 5th. Steven from Redolescence had his best fragrance of 2019, and I can't remember if this came 1st or 2nd, but it was definitely up there. There are a lot of people that like and appreciate the scent. It's just not mass appealing. I mean, it is a little provocative. I had somebody talk to me earlier this week, believe it or not, and said that they would not want this bottle on their shelf. And look, I'm a middle-aged guy. I get it. I can see a lot of people out there thinking, well, for starters, it is a teddy bear. But secondly, he's in bondage gear. So yeah, not for everybody. But the scent is like that as well. It's not for everybody, but it is for a lot of people. And the thing that clinched it for me, I have seen almost as many people talk about getting compliments from this fragrance as any other fragrance that people mention. So this is the real deal. It just doesn't appear like that on the surface. Fragrance number 3 works on a deeper level for one reason only: women. This is Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. And Dior spent tens of millions of dollars on market research and advertising, way more than houses normally do. They also did a global search. Now, Bleu de Chanel did the same thing, but they only went to Europe. Most of it was in France. When Dior went looking for this fragrance and trying to see what people liked, they went to 3 different continents: Asia, North America, and Europe. And they also, for the very first time, extensively interviewed women because they have an influence over men when it comes to choosing their fragrance. And they discovered one thing in the research. Ambroxan it scored, and this is a direct quote from the research, off the charts with women in a blind smell test. And so Dior thought, okay, well, we've found something here. Let's base the spine of the fragrance around ambroxan. Now, ambroxan had been used for a long time as a fixative or an accent note. But other than Molecule 02, and that was just an experiment, and that was just raw ambroxan. Other than that, it had never been used as the spine of a real men's fragrance. And not only was it ambroxan, from the research, they found out what women liked about ambroxan, what they didn't. And so they tried to improve that feel. So what they did was they added 2 types of pepper, Szechuan and black pepper, and then they added a lot of bergamot off the top. And it's been a huge seller. And I mean, I know there are guys out there, they're like, yeah, well, I buy fragrances for me. That's fair enough. But on the surveys that I have seen, around 30% of men, the number one reason for wearing a fragrance is to attract a partner. And 60% of men have it in the top 3 as to what they want. So look, we all have women in our lives, whether we work with them, whether they're our partners, or whether we're actively dating. This is catnip to women. And if you've got a collection of any size, even if you don't like it, this serves a purpose. Fragrance number 4 is Eau de Rhubarbe Eclarte, and this is from the house of Hermes. And Hermes is exactly what I'm talking about, because Hermes is a French minimalist house that gets right to the point. It's very high quality, but if you're not used to fragrances like I was, you're going to smell their fragrances and go, what on earth are they doing? It's boring. There's nothing there. Or you're just flat out not going to like it, because they tend to emphasize woods, at least for men, or very vegetal fragrances. There's no frills at all. And minimalist scents don't work too well in a maximalist society. But if you've been in fragrances long enough, you understand the appeal, the sophisticated element of minimalism, and that's what you're getting with Hermes. And that's actually what you're getting here. So Rhubarbe Eclarte, that means scarlet rhubarb. And rhubarb actually has a fruity smell. So this is definitely fruity more than anything else. It also has red berries, which have a sharp, tart feel, and lantana, which is a floral note that's also quite sharp and tart. And then it's got musk in the base. The interesting thing about the musk here, I don't think I've ever tried a fragrance where I pick up the musk later on. Hardly notice it at the beginning. But then as the fruitiness dies down, the musk starts to rise up. I really pick it up. It's got a really cool feel to it. And I actually got this fragrance, I mean, he's so kind. I met Chad for the second time. I've only met him 4 times. Twice he's given me fragrances apropos of nothing. Very, very kind dude. And he's going through the same thing with Hermes as well. Never wore Hermes at all. Now he loves it. He knows I'm going through the same thing, so he gifted me this for free. I absolutely love it. The only potential drawback here, and it has to do, I think, with skin chemistry, because I've seen people say that they don't get good performance with this particular fragrance, and with some of the other Hermes fragrances, I get great performance. I get 6 hours with this, no problem. Other people will say 3 or 4. That's a skin chemistry thing. I think I do. That's one thing about Hermes. They do last on my skin, but yeah, really nice fruity fragrance with little bit of green facets to it and that lovely musk dry down. Fragrance number 5 is Rasasi Shuhrah, and please don't click off if you see the name here. This is one of the most interesting fragrances I have ever encountered in my life. I did a review on it a couple of months ago. I did not enjoy it at all. I put it at the back of my fragrance counter, and then there was this pull from my gut. It was like, okay, come on, there's more to it. I swear to God that happened, and then so I started wearing it more. Now the reason I didn't like it was it's got a tomato leaf accord at the very beginning. It smells like a veggie garden. It's green and it's unappealing. I don't know if it's universally unappealing. It certainly was to me. But the beautiful thing about it is the dry down here is fantastic. It's an oriental style dry down. I mean, I've never seen a fragrance that had such a different dry down as on the open. I mean, it's a completely different fragrance an hour in than it is right at the very beginning. So the dry down is leather, oud, and amber. Right? And what you get at the end is you get that tomato leaf note that no longer smells like a veggie garden, but it's still a slightly green, little bit of freshness on top of the oriental, and it smells awesome. Super inexpensive, excellent performance. This fragrance has an elixir to it, so there are a lot of people that really do like it. You don't make elixirs for fragrances that people don't like. It's just, don't be put off by the tomato leaf. Hang in there. This is great. Fragrance number 6 is Oud Pashmina by Montale, and this is the closest non-clone that I can get to Ombre Nomade by Louis Vuitton. This does not have the raspberry note, but it definitely has a similar vibe. And what this smells like to me is the same vibe that I get from Ombre Nomade. It just smells like money. It smells like wealth. It smells luxurious. It smells high class. I just adore this fragrance. I don't understand why people don't talk about Montale on YouTube. My buddy Rush mentioned that in a video that we did with him a couple weeks ago. He likes the house. I like the house too. This is the only Montale that I've owned, but I've tried a few others. Smells awesome. Basically, you're just dealing with 3 notes in this case: vanilla, amber, and oud. It is a dark oud. Definitely similar. Really strong performance. Yeah, don't forget about this one. Fragrance number 7 is Une Histoire d'Homme Irresistible from the house of Mauboussin. This is a fragrance that when you get it, you're going to have to let it sit for at least a month before you get any decent performance. This is under $30, but this fragrance has a 4.31 rating on Fragrantica. For a $28 fragrance, that is crazy. This is a hidden gem, folks. An absolutely beautiful scent if you like gentlemanly fragrances. Don't be put off by the fact that this has fig. Yes, there's definitely fig there, but things like Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme and Fico d'Amalfi, it has more fig or more fig leaf. The fig leaf is here, but there's a lot of bergamot as well, and there's 2 woody notes, cedar and sandalwood. So this is more woody than fig. It's a very classy scent. It's long-lasting. I get at least 5 hours. I'm thinking 5 to 6. Once you let it sit, you get projection, because if you try this right out of the bottle, like my experience was, I really didn't like it, but man, I let it sit 4, 6 weeks, whatever, and this thing just came out strong. You start to figure out what a great deal this is. One of the best deals you can get in perfumery. Yeah, great fragrance. Finally, we have Pour Homme de Caron from the house of Caron. This is actually a niche house. Fairly inexpensive fragrance though. Very, very synthetic. But this is a masterclass in aromatherapy. This one definitely works on a different level. This smells like lavender soap. Most people, when they talk about a fragrance being soapy, they think of like gel soap or something that you get in a bottle and it's liquid. This smells like a bar of nice lavender soap, but it's a spray-on version. So there's a ton of lavender here. This fragrance is actually from 1934. Back then, lavender was everything, and they certainly went all in with it here. There is definitely some sweetness, a little bit of vanilla, but mild sweetness, and then there's a lot of musk as well. So yeah, just think lavender soap. This is the kind of fragrance where, you know, you're gonna smell clean if you wear it, but it is synthetic. It's actually quite inexpensive. It's been around since 34, so the availability comes and goes, but don't pay more than 50 US for it because, you know, it is meant to be an inexpensive fragrance. I think it is the most relaxing scent that I own. I've sprayed it on my pillow a couple times. Don't tell anyone. Anyway, what I've found about the deeper level fragrances is you have to earn their respect, and therefore you end up liking them more than something that will smell really great right out of the bottle. Like one of my favorite houses is Prada. Immediately you won't fall in love with them right away, but over time I came to appreciate what they do. Hermes is exactly the same. And, you know, it's just one of those things. The more you're in FragCom, the more you figure out what works and what doesn't, what's good and what isn't. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Little bit different today. Thanks for watching.